Hey guys, so I wanted to make a video tonight about the Las Vegas shooting and some of the conspiracy theories that I've seen here. So normally we just talk about trading on this channel. However, an important component about trading is reading news and being able to interpret news and the effects of news and being able to see what things may be buried within the news are important and what things are being reported are maybe complete bullcrap, right? Now, unfortunately, with this Las Vegas shooting, there is not necessarily a trading edge that you can get out here, but I do think that this news story shows you a lot of things that might be useful to you trading later. You know, ways to be skeptical and analyze the news. I also think that maybe this will provide us perspective to other people that aren't trading. So I know that a lot of the people that visit this channel tend to be more conservative leaning. A lot of my friends are conservative leaning. I mean, I voted for Donald Trump. I totally admit that. And I post quite a bit on the Donald subreddit. And I've been noticing that a lot of those conservative leaning people and Donald Trump supporters have been buying into a lot of really ridiculous conspiracy theories. So I just want to go through a couple of the things that I've been seeing online and explain why these things are either just outright not true or extremely unlikely. So let me pull up the screen here first. I don't want that. We just put me down here in the corner. Is that okay? Or we can just get rid of me. No, that's not. I have all these scenes. Okay. I don't normally do videos like this, right? Okay, so here we have a video. The claim in this video is that there was gunfire from the 4th floor of the hotel. So what this video is, somebody in a cab driving by, and you can see in the video a flashing light, and they claim that this flashing light is the muzzle fire from the gun. So let's watch the video.
Like it's coming from up there. Oh shit, Alright, I'm out.
Okay, so let's just rewind this back here. So let me explain to you why this idea is dumb, frankly. I don't mean that to be an insult to anybody that actually believes this. The thing about mass hysteria is that it plays into our cognitive biases. We assume something that is fishy and something is not true. And so when we see some sort of explanation, even if it's not really a sound explanation, we completely buy into it. So you're going to see a lot of really smart and intelligent people believe conspiracy theories like this. So why is this dumb? Well, for the shooter to even shoot out of the hotel, he actually had to use a hammer to destroy the window. This is like a skyscraper with windows they don't open. It's not safe. They don't build buildings like that. So how is he shooting out the 4th floor if there's not also a broken window there on the 4th floor? Does he somehow have magical bullets that go through glass? I don't understand. But not only that, but if you just watch the video really closely, you can see that there are things within the video that disprove it. So the flashing light doesn't line up with the sound at all. And one might say, well, that's because, you're far away from it. You're going to see the light before you see the sound. Well, that's true, except for that the light starts before you hear the sound, and the light ends after you stop hearing the sound. Watch it again. Oops. I go 50, I think it was at 57. Here we go.
Like it's coming from up there.
Okay, so the light had started long before we heard the sound, and now the sound has stopped and the light is still going. I'll show it one more time.
It's coming from up there. Oh shit,
I'll also show another video is going to come up here, and here you're going to see a moment where the light just completely disappears, even though the sound is still going.
That's damn not the 30-second.
So where did the light go? Yeah, it just disappears. Now the funny thing about this one is that there's a lot of people out there watching Fox News and saying, hey, I actually see that light on the front of the hotel on the Fox News feed right now, and it's been a whole day after the event, and I've seen dozens of people report this particular thing. I wish I had video to show you that, but you know, Fox is going to take down anything that would include their broadcast footage, so I can't show you. But yeah, I think that this is pretty easily disproven. I don't even think that looks like a muzzle flash. I mean, a muzzle flash isn't going to be like a little tiny point white light. It's going to be maybe a little yellow in color, and it's going to be, you know, pointed and long shaped, and you might maybe even see, you know, the area around that window lighting up from the muzzle flash, which you don't see. This is most likely just a reflection or some sort of strobe light that is always there. And if you went down to that hotel and looked at it right now, you would probably see that strobing light. So the next one that I want to look at here, here's a video. This is from Genesis CNC. I'll show you the video again. And here his claim is that the sounds clearly indicate that there is a second shooter. So they're saying that the gunman did not act alone, that there had to have been more than one person shooting at the same time. So we'll just watch this.
I'm going to get into it, but at the 3-minute and 30-second mark of this specific video, you're going to have a belt-fed weapon that is discharging on full auto at a distance, and then within that you're going to have a controlled burst and from a closer distance. So just listen very closely. I'll start at 320, 320, and then we'll go through and pay specific. You're going to see 2 controlled bursts. I'm of the opinion there from a suppressed rifle that is close. Watch this. 330. That sound, that's full auto. Pay attention. We're at 327, and then you're going to have an interruption of control burst. Did you hear it? Da 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 da. Listen again. There we go. I'll start at 323. Watch this. Listen again. Watch it! Okay, so that's guaranteed 2 shooters minimum.
No. So humans are notoriously bad at, let me pull up the camera here. Humans are notoriously bad at being able to determine where gunfire is coming from, and how many people there are. And in fact, in almost every major mass shooting event that we've had, whether it was the Virginia Tech shooter or the Orlando nightclub massacre, all of these, that somebody always reports that there are 2 shooters, and there's always conspiracy theories that the person did not act alone. The fact is that eyewitnesses' reports are simply unreliable. So, you know, one thing that we saw that happened during this incident is, you know, obviously there's gunfire, people are hearing about it, and so the assumption is, oh, like the whole city is under attack. So there were actually reports from all over the city, but then when you go to the actual police, the police state that there was no other incidents of that kind anywhere else. You know, so people are saying, oh, there was another hotel that there was reports of gunfire at, but then the police said, oh, there was nothing there. So what causes the sound that we hear in the video? Well, sounds are going to bounce off of buildings. You're also going to get, you know, sounds when the bullets hit things. So what you might see, what you might be hearing is, as he's, you know, scanning the gun across the venue area, you know, he sweeps, and so you hear the gunshots that are coming closer to the person. Maybe not like right next to them where you would be able to hear the twirl of the bullets, but, you know, closer to where the sound changes, and that's where you get that. And you can hear through the whole video, there's lots of echoes, there's sharp, high-pitched sounds, and there's more low-pitched sounds, and it's also the rate of fire modulates wildly. So one of the things I find really interesting about this video is that based on the reports that we received from police now about what weapons were there, and we do know what weapons were there. There are photos of the weapons. It's confirmed that he had at least one fully automatic weapon and 2 weapons with bump stocks. The person that made this video claims that it is very clearly a belt-fed weapon, but he didn't have any belt-fed weapons. What you're hearing is a bump stock weapon at that time. That's why the rate of fire is not 100% consistent. So the way that a bump stock works is, you know, when you shoot, there's a spring back there, and so the gun will push back, and then the spring will push it back here, and that's will make your finger hit the trigger again. And so what you're getting is like as your finger bounces off of the trigger, basically. So, you know, there's many explanations. I think perhaps maybe if that doesn't convince you, I would have to ask, why would the police, you know, if there was a second shooter, why would the police hide that fact? I mean, isn't anything that they might have to gain from, you know, protecting themselves from, you know, I've heard conspiracy theories that the police are complicit in something, or they're embarrassed and they don't want to say anything. Like, wouldn't the risk to public safety, you know, be worse than anything that could possibly happen from us finding out that there was 2 shooters? I mean, really, there's a second guy running around that just killed 58 people, and the police are hiding it. Give me a break, guys. It's absolutely ridiculous. And not only that, but we have found out now today that the shooter recorded the whole thing. And we have photos now from the crime scene, and it looks like there was probably also a note. So whatever reason the police have for withholding this information from us for now, eventually it's going to get out. I mean, come on. You think that the public is just going to go, oh, okay, well, you lost the video. What? No, come on. People are going to find out if they're lying. And therefore, you know, the potential benefit to any conspirator to hide this information is just nonsensical. I'm not saying that it's not. That it's impossible to happen, but it's extremely unlikely, and that's why, you know, this conspiracy theory again just doesn't pass the test. It's kind of the same thing with this latest thing. I'll show you here. Here's a thread on 4chan. I'll just read this to you. This person claims the Las Vegas Metro Police Department knows the motive behind the attack, but the FBI will not allow us to release the motive because it implicates the FBI in illegal arms deals and supplying arms to ISIS terrorists within U.S. borders. Okay, so the first thing that comes to my head when I read this is that this is an elaborate conspiracy theory, right? So it's bringing in a lot of things that we have absolutely no reason to believe are true, and we're supposed to simply believe this based off of the word of some random person on the internet. Actually, no, not just on the internet, somebody on 4chan, okay, which is notorious for role-playing and being wrong about these things, right? continuing, says Stephen Paddock was an undercover FBI agent, okay, who participated in multiple illegal arms deals in the Las Vegas area in a gun-running entrapment scheme similar to Fast and Furious. Paddock thought he was engaging in another routine arms transfer, but ISIS had learned about the entrapment scheme and Paddock's true identity. They killed him and carried out the massacre and then fled the scene. Okay. So you're telling me that the FBI is allowing ISIS terrorists that just killed 58 people to run around free willy-nilly in Las Vegas because they're afraid that the public will learn about their gun-running entrapment scheme? I mean, come on, guys. I mean, even if if let's just assume that that is true, they're not going to hide that knowledge from the public because they're going to go and kill somebody else. And then how bad are they going to look when they go and kill somebody else? So again, this conspiracy theory just doesn't pass the test. And the question is, why does this happen? And this is the part where I think maybe I'll make people really mad, but, you know, this all comes down to cognitive dissonance. So the more that an event challenges your worldview, the more likely you are to experience cognitive dissonance from the event, and therefore the more likely you are to attach to a conspiracy theory, right? So here in this instance, because the shooter was not, at least as far as we know right now, wasn't a Muslim terrorist, or at least he wasn't obviously a Muslim terrorist because he was a white guy, the political fallout from this is mostly on the conservative side, right? Conservatives are hurt most politically from this event, right? Liberals are going to take this as, oh, it was a shooting from a white guy, we need gun control, right? So that's why you'll notice that it's mostly people on the conservative side of the aisle that are holding on to these conspiracy theories. Now, something that I think you might see, it would be very interesting if this does happen, but pay attention to how people's opinions change. Excuse me. Pay attention to how people's opinions change when the shooter's motive is made public. So, if the shooter was doing this for ISIS, I know ISIS has claimed responsibility, but that may not necessarily be reliable. But let's say that he did it for ISIS, or let's say that he did it because he wanted to kill Republican voters, you know, at a country concert. Now all of a sudden, who does that hurt the most politically? It hurts liberals more politically. And so now what you're going to see, if that happened, what you would see is all of a sudden the Donald Trump supporters are going to start believing the official story and aren't going to be as interested in conspiracy theories anymore. And meanwhile, all of the people on r/politics are going to be upvoting to the front page, you know, all of these stories saying that it doesn't make sense, and you know, there's something fishy going on here, and this is all a conspiracy. And I think that this is really important thing to note in terms of how you interpret news, right? So let's just say if you are a long in the market and a piece of news comes out that is bearish, you're more likely to discount it or say, well, I don't know, I mean, it says this, but when you look into the details, it's not actually that good, and blah, 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 blah. You have to realize that because you have a position, because your long bias is long or short, just like with this, if your bias is you're a Republican or you're a Democrat, that's going to affect your view on things, and you have to keep that in mind. And that's why when we trade, we create systems to kind of keep our biases in check. So for instance, with myself, I only want to trade when the market is already moving in a certain direction. So it, based on, you know, like a volume weighted average price. So if a piece of news comes out and it's good, I might not necessarily trade it until we're above the volume weighted average price, because that means that enough market participants also think that that news should move the market that direction that I can take it. Anyways, I'm sure a lot of people will accuse me of being some sort of globalist shill of some sort or whatever. That's okay. Have at it. I would love to have all sorts of flame wars in the comment threads here. People telling me we're wrong. I'm wrong. Go ahead. And I will address all of the comments and prove you wrong, because these conspiracy theories are just total bullcrap. You know, I don't think you should be ashamed if you believe them, because very smart people will fall victim to conspiracy theories. But you have to realize at some point that what you are experiencing right now is not reality. It's a figment of your cognitive biases. And that's it. See you tomorrow morning.